In today's video, I'm going to give you guys 8 weight loss foods to avoid so you can stay in a consistent calorie deficit and you can continuously lose weight over the course of the weeks. I'm going to go over why you should avoid these foods and alternatives to these foods so you can get rid of all of those jelly rolls. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, the first food that you want to avoid is peanut butter. Now, I like a damn good peanut butter shake myself. But peanut butter is incredibly dense in calories. One serving of peanut butter is about like this, like this. But who uses this much of peanut butter when we're using a shake or we're making a peanut butter sandwich? Nobody does. And a serving size like that is about 190 calories. So by using peanut butter, it's easily way much more susceptible for you to indulge and overconsume on the peanut butter and eat yourself out of a calorie deficit. Peanut butter is very sweet and it tastes really good. And the amount of servings to get us really satisfied using peanut butter is going to be about 2 to 3, and that's easily 600 calories. So I would say avoid peanut butter at all costs. But what you can use is you can use powdered peanut butter. They have powdered peanut butter out there that is literally 80% less of the calories, but you still get the peanut butter taste that you enjoy. The second food that you want to avoid is sugary drinks and beverages. And that's because these sugary drinks and beverages are really dense with useless calories. You consume these sugary drinks and beverages and they don't add to the fullness within your stomach. As you're on a diet, you want to consume foods that are going to fill you up for the calories that you are consuming. Every calorie counts. So when you drink these calories from the form of sugary drinks and beverages, you are adding to your calorie count throughout the day with no benefit that is going to help you maintain a diet that's going to be less hungrier, throughout the day. And then let's say now you have soda with every meal or you have juice with every meal. One meal, you can add an extra 200 calories by just having 2 cups of Sprite. Now, who has 1 cup or 2 cups of Sprite just for one meal? You're going to have multiple meals where you're consuming these sugary drinks and beverages, adding to your calorie count throughout the day, which is going to cause you to eat yourself out a calorie deficit. So what you want to do is you want to switch out these sugary drinks and beverages for diet versions of these sugary drinks and beverages, because you can get the same effect, the same exact effect as far as taste with way less, damn near zero of the calorie count, getting the best of both worlds. The next food that you want to avoid, or in this case, just be cautious of when you are using this food, is oil. Oil is extremely dense. 1 tablespoon of oil is about just 100 calories. Now, the thing about this is most people aren't cooking in a way or foods that require you just to use 1 tablespoon of oil. A lot of people are using multiple servings of oil to fry or cook their food, which is adding an extreme amount of calories to that meal. I don't think a lot of people understand how dense oil was. I know I did it until I started weighing my food and I started to understand portion size. When it came to oil, I was dramatically surprised on how dense oil is. Like, damn, like I'm over here doing the gulp with the oil, not understanding that I'm just adding a whole load of calories to that meal. So what you want to do is like you want to look for other ways to cook the food. You can bake it, you can boil it, you can steam the food, you can air fry it. Air frying is very popular. And me personally, I don't really like the air fryer taste, but air frying, you can just find different alternative ways to prepare the food. Or if you want to use oil, just be extremely mindful of the oil, of the amount of oil that you're using. I suggest you even really weigh it. And when you weigh the food and you see how dense oil is, you will understand how it's way extremely easy to eat yourself out of a calorie deficit just using oil. So in terms, just find different alternative ways to prepare your meal so you can lessen the calorie count. The fourth food that you want to avoid, or in this case, the fourth thing that you don't want to do, is leave junk food within your house. And it's because when you leave junk food in your house, you have to use willpower every single day to resist the urge to crack open those chips, to eat that ice cream. And willpower runs out over time when you're walking past your kitchen 20 times a day for how many times a week? You're living with this food in this house. So as you go to sleep, it's going to be in your mind. As you are doing work throughout the midday, it's going to be in your mind to go snack a chip. And you don't want to have this mental battle within your own house because you are going to give in. So what you do when you go shopping, you just don't bring it within the house. Because when you go shopping and you walk past the aisle and you don't grab the ice cream, you only have to use willpower one time rather than using it every day if you was to bring it in your house. The fifth food to avoid, but in this case, the fifth thing not to do, is to buy junk food more than what you're going to eat for today. Meaning that, let's say if I want some Doritos, I'm not going to go and buy the big bag of Doritos. So as I'm eating the Doritos and I'm finished with the Doritos, I'm going to put it back on my refrigerator on the top and leave it in the house. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to buy a serving size of Doritos that I'm only going to eat today within the house. So after I finish that bag and then throw the wrapper in the garbage, there is no Doritos left in the house for me to potentially overeat later on throughout the day. Because let's say now I buy a big bag of Doritos and I'm eating the Doritos and I get to the point where I don't want any more, and then I put it back on the refrigerator. Now I already opened the floodgates. So by opening up the floodgates of eating the Doritos, now as later on throughout the day, as I get more hungry again, I'm going to chip off a chip here, get a chip here, get a chip here, get handful of handfuls, and then now I'm eating myself out of a calorie deficit. So I only bring in the amount of junk food that I want to eat today in the house so it doesn't linger outside the house. It doesn't linger inside the house. The next food that you want to avoid in excess is sauces. Sauces like barbecue sauce, ketchup, and mayonnaise are very extremely dense in calories. And unknowingly, if you're just blindly using these sauces, you can eat yourself out a calorie deficit easily. A little small handful of barbecue sauce could be 200 calories, and you not knowing that because sauces look so harmless, you can easily eat yourself out of a calorie deficit. Let's say you have a chicken breast and it's pretty harmless. Let me use some barbecue sauce. But what if you have 6? Now you're using 6 chicken breasts worth of barbecue sauce, and that could be easily 300 calories. So not knowing this and blindly going into using sauces, you're going to eat yourself out of a calorie deficit. So be mindful of the amount of sauces to use. I'm not saying don't use sauce. I'm just saying be more aware of the sauces that you're using. And then if you want to be able to use more sauce on your foods that you're eating, you can use the light version of these sauces. And the light version of these sauces, or the calorie mindful version of these sauces, are literally half the calories for the same sauce. so you can use more sauce for less calories, so you can drench your chicken breast in barbecue sauce like I do. So be mindful of that. The next food that you want to avoid or minimize is restaurant foods. And that's because the food at the restaurant, they're made to be extremely addictive, so you can keep on coming back and spending your hard-earned money there. And you don't know how many calories are within these foods, is because it's things you can't see, like the butter, sugar, or the oil they use within the food, that can boost up that food that you're eating an extra 400 calories without you being able to tell. So what you want to do is you want to minimize the outside food restaurants that you're eating, and you want to at least don't go outside of probably like go to the restaurant maybe like once a week. That's pretty good. But anything other than that, while you're losing weight, you want to be in control of your calorie count as much as possible, and not on one day just screwing everything up. And the eighth food that you want to avoid is alcohol. Now, outside of the terrible things alcohol does to our body, what it does to your diet is it makes you overconsume and eat yourself out of a calorie deficit. And it's because how many of us always say we're going to have 2, and then we have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. When you consume alcohol, you start feeling good. It's circling through your bones. You're having a good time. And then it's just like, let me go have one more. And then let me have one more. And then one more. And then you want to keep on keeping the night going. You want to keep on keeping the night going. So you consume. And little do you know, you ate yourself, or drank yourself in this case, out of a calorie deficit easily. And I used to do this all the time. That's why I had to stop. And it's because I would say I have 2, then I would have 3, then I would have 4, 5, and then I'm feeling so good in the night. And it's just like, I want to feel good. And you know what? You know what will make this night even better? The drive-through. And then it's game over. And then I erased all of my progress throughout the week that I just did. And I know a lot of us is suffering with this as well. I'm sorry, but you may have to minimize or even cut out alcohol to get ahead for the next couple of months, and then you can reintroduce it down the line. But alcohol is a major hindrance. So now that's all 8. I hope you really found something as far as all 8. One of them helpful that you can incorporate within your weight loss journey, so you can consistently lose weight over the course of weeks, months, so you can achieve the body that you want. I'm going to post another video on the screen somewhere here, and it talks about how you can, or the ways, or how binge eating occurs on the diet, which is very interesting, and I would like for you to understand so you don't make the mistake. And I'm going to put an email in the description, and I do personalized coaching, so you can email me if you are interested in coaching, or if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help, and I am out.